Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's safe to assume that Anthem 2.0 or the overhaul for Anthem is now pretty much officially confirmed. This is something that Bioware announced on their official blog post a few moments ago, and it's actually something that contains quite a bit of information about the future of the game, upcoming content, as well as this revamp that everybody wanted, well, basically since day one. So it actually sounds quite exciting. Is it too late to hear this news from Bioware? Maybe, maybe not, I'm not sure exactly yet, but this all started with a tweet from the official Anthem Twitter account a few moments ago. It was subsequently deleted, then reinstated. Fortunately enough, we do have the blog post, so if it does get hidden again, I did save the page so that we can go in and pretty much read it and see all of the details. So I did manage to skim through this. It actually does sound quite exciting. It's just a few paragraphs, so let's just start with the announcement itself. So according to Casey Hudson over here, the Bioware general manager, he just posted this. Hey everyone, 1 year ago we were preparing to launch Anthem, a game that represented a big leap into new territory for us as a studio. It was an exhilarating and terrifying experience to go out to the world with something new and different, and we are grateful to all our players who have come along with us on the journey. It has been a thrill for us to see the creativity of our players in designing customized javelins and watching them master Anthem's flying and fighting gameplay. I am so proud of the work that the team has put into this game, and at the same time there's so much more that we and you would have wanted from it, and that is actually so goddamn true. Anyway, over the last year the team has worked hard to improve stability, performance and general quality of life while delivering 3 seasons of new content and features. We have also heard your feedback that Anthem needs a more satisfying loot experience, better long-term progression and a more fulfilling endgame. So we recognize that there's still more fundamental work to be done to bring out the full potential of the experience, and it will require a more substantial reinvention than an update or expansion. Over the coming months, we will be focusing on a longer-term redesign of the experience and specifically working to reinvent the core gameplay loop with clear goals, motivating challenges, and progression with meaningful rewards, while preserving the fun of flying and fighting in a vast science fantasy setting. And to do that properly, we'll be doing something we'd like to have done more of first time around, giving a focus team the time to test and iterate, focusing on gameplay first. And I'm actually glad that they came to this decision, so this is going to be quite interesting. But in the meantime, we will continue to run the current version of Anthem, but move away from full seasons as the team works towards the future of Anthem. We'll keep the game going with events, story refreshes and revisiting past seasonal and Cataclysm content, starting with our anniversary towards the end of this month. Creating new worlds is central to our studio mission, but it's not easy. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we miss. What keeps us going is the support from players like you. Your feedback gives us guidance on how we can improve, and your passion inspires us with the courage to create. I look forward to working together with your involvement and feedback towards the best possible future for Anthem and Casey. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that this officially makes it. We have Anthem 2.0 in the works, or well, Bioware is planning to actually start with that. So I guess that Jason Schreier actually had some pretty legit information when he reported on it a few months ago. So I'm actually pretty glad that this is happening. I said this for a very long time at this point. Anthem needed a revamp, and this is something that honestly Bioware should have done for at least like half a year at this point. I think that should have been done pretty much after the first month, and after seeing how everything went down with the game and all of the criticism that it got, and even more so what happened following Jason Schreier's revelations with his article that he posted last summer. So some really big details over here. Does this mean that this is going to turn better for Anthem? Could this be too late? Both of these questions I'm not sure about, so let me know down below what is your opinion on all of this. Do you think that it is too late for Anthem to get a revamp, or are you actually excited about the revamp? Because personally I am excited about all of this, despite me having my ups and downs with the game and posting about it here on this channel if you followed me in the past year or so. But otherwise, This means that we are going to get all of those things that Jason Schreier was mentioning in the article, which means, you know, the revamped gameplay loop, which definitely needs to be pretty much rebuilt from the ground up, from the moment you start in Fort Tarsis to the moment you go in, choose an expedition, to the point you go in and actually do it and finish it, be it alone, be it with your friends. All of this needs to rather change in a more cohesive manner. There's a few things that still don't make sense in the game. I've expressed my opinion about this in a video a few days ago, so definitely go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. But otherwise, this is something that the game really needed. So the fact that they are recognizing this and the fact that they're actually listening to the feedback for once, I think that this is the first time BioWare actually mentioned player feedback by name, not just, you know, telling that they're listening, actually mentioning what is it that they're listening to is a big step in the right direction. So the fact that Casey over here mentions a substantial reinvention of the game more than an update or an expansion does sound in tune with what the game actually needs. Again, an expansion or another update is not gonna fix the game. Obviously, it needs to be, you know, brought back to the drawing board and start pretty much from scratch almost, because there is a lot of things that have to be fixed that I don't think any incremental changes will ever fix that in a million years if they continue it like this. So yeah, the game is still in not a proper state even like 1 year after its release. There are still problems that existed since day one, even though some of them have been kind of polished out a little bit. Most of the gameplay loop is still the same. The loot system, the progression system still has the same type of problems that it had on day one, even though BioWare has improved upon them. But the way they work, actually, the way you are rewarded in this game, the way you progress your character still hasn't changed too much. You're still heavily relying on RNG, you still don't really know how to fine-tune your build because you don't have any access to, you know, detailed statistics about your character and its stats. There are basic features that shouldn't be missing in an RPG that are missing from Anthem. I mean, we don't even have a working text chat in this game in 2020, 1 year after its release. We have something that substitutes it, but it's still not working pretty well. So the way this makes it sound, it seems that they're gonna be focusing a major part of the team to do just that, to bring the game back to the drawing board, test again, play it, iterate, and focus on the gameplay so that, you know, they can improve the actual game for once. So yeah, it all sounds exciting, but it also means that the future of the game, at least in its current state, is going to be, you know, slightly darker than it currently is. At the very least, up until now, the game kind of felt a little bit in maintenance mode. So we did get a few patches and a few updates and some content every like few weeks or months. It was enough to keep you going for a few days. But now that all of this is gonna be happening, it sounds to me like yeah, we're not gonna get too much content in the near future, and at most we're gonna get the content that was already added in the game in the past and subsequently removed. So it seems that the Cataclysm content is gonna make a return in the future, which, you know, honestly, it makes sense. The story refreshes, revisiting, you know, the past seasonal stuff is gonna make a return, so I guess they're gonna add that as well. And they are going to add a anniversary update towards the end of this month, so I'm really curious what that is gonna be. That's probably going to be, you know, the last new or fresh content that we're gonna get in the game. Maybe I'm betting on, you know, the Cataclysm just making a return and staying in the game, but if they also add some brand new content in there, it would also be awesome. Otherwise, don't expect too much from Anthem in the near future, because that's not gonna happen pretty much. We're gonna just get the same things that we had in the past. So yeah, honestly, big props to BioWare for finally coming out and saying this. I think that it was about time to do this. Honestly, if it was me, I would have preferred for them to do this a long time ago. As a matter of fact, as early as maybe even May or, well, June last year, around the time when they already scrapped the roadmap. They should have done this way back then. Along with the roadmap, they should have said, okay, scrap the roadmap, go back to the drawing board, put the team back on work and bring the game on ice so that we can actually bring a better product to our customers. But you know, they chose to do it almost like 1 year later, almost on the game's anniversary. There's like 2 more weeks until the game would have come out last year, so quite a bit of time until then. They should have not waited this long, that's all I'm saying. Maybe this is just me, maybe you're of a different opinion, but this is just me. This is how I would have preferred for things to go, and it would have probably not hurt Bioware as much if they, you know, actually did it the first time they had the chance to do so. But hey, it's better later rather than never if this means that Anthem 2.0 is going to happen, because Anthem is something that, despite all of its criticism and problems, is something of a game that people would enjoy if it was done properly. But now that the reputation is tainted, the number of people who would do that is, you know, obviously affected, and it's not going to have the same amount of success that it could have had if it was done properly the first time around. Anyway, let me know of your opinion down below. I'm really curious to see what you guys, you know, have to say about this. Of course, let's chat about it, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, a comment, like, and subscribe would be super appreciated, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.